What if I told you that some of history's wildest mythical creatures were actually real? For centuries, legends have whispered of colossal sea monsters, fire-breathing dragons, and terrifying beasts lurking in the shadows. Most of us have dismissed these as fairy tales, but what if they weren't just stories? What if ancient civilizations were trying to warn us about creatures that truly walked, swam, and soared across the earth? From deep-sea nightmares to giant apes that may still be hiding in our forests. Today, we're diving into 10 mythical creatures that might have actually existed, and the shocking truth behind them will blow your mind. Stick around, because by the end of this, you might never look at folklore the same way again. Welcome to Earth and Beyond. One, the Kraken, a monster of the deep. Imagine sailing through the open ocean, the waves crashing against your ship, when suddenly something massive rises from the depths. Tentacles as thick as tree trunks wrap around the vessel, dragging it into the abyss. This isn't just a nightmare. For centuries, sailors across Scandinavia and beyond spoke of the Kraken, a colossal sea monster said to be large enough to capsize entire ships. Legends described it as a terrifying beast with enormous arms, waiting beneath the surface to swallow men whole. But here's the shocking part. They weren't entirely wrong. Modern science has uncovered giant squids and colossal squids, real-life sea creatures that grow over 40 feet long and possess razor-sharp suckers. These deep-sea monsters live so far beneath the ocean's surface that they're rarely seen. But when they do appear, their sheer size and power match the ancient descriptions almost perfectly. Could these be the real-life Kraken? Were old sailors simply exaggerating their encounters, or is something even larger lurking in the uncharted depths of the ocean? 2. The unicorn, a real one-horned beast. For centuries, stories of majestic unicorns have spread across cultures, from ancient Chinese scrolls to medieval European texts. These creatures were said to be graceful, untamable, and incredibly rare, with a single spiraled horn that possessed mystical healing powers. But here's where it gets interesting. Unicorns may have actually existed. Fossil evidence reveals that around 29,000 years ago, a real one-horned beast roamed the earth, the Elasmotherium, also known as the Siberian unicorn. But unlike the elegant white horse of legend, this creature was actually a massive, shaggy, rhino-like beast, standing over 6 feet tall and weighing nearly 4 tons. Ancient humans may have encountered these powerful creatures and mistaken them for unicorns. Over time, the truth could have been distorted into the mythical, graceful unicorn we picture today. So, were unicorns ever real? Well, not the kind you see in fairy tales, but the legend may be rooted in something very real. 3. The dragon, inspired by fossils. What if dragons weren't just myth, but memories of something real? From the fire-breathing beasts of Europe to the serpentine guardians of China, dragons appear in nearly every ancient culture. But how did so many civilizations, separated by thousands of miles, all come up with similar creatures? The answer might be hiding beneath our feet: dinosaur fossils. Before modern science, early people stumbling upon massive fossilized bones had no way of understanding what they were. Imagine discovering a giant skull with dagger-like teeth or a towering spine embedded in rock. What else could it be but the remains of a legendary monster? In fact, some historians believe that Protoceratops fossils found in Mongolia may have inspired tales of griffins, while pterosaur remains could have sparked visions of flying dragons. And even today, in the unexplored depths of jungles and caves, could something dragon-like still exist? Some cryptozoologists believe large, unknown reptilian creatures may still roam in remote regions, waiting to be discovered. So, were dragons ever real? Maybe not the fire-breathing kind, but the bones of prehistoric giants may have left behind a legacy that still fascinates us today. Wait, before we continue, I need to ask you something. If you've made it this far, you clearly love mind-blowing mysteries. So why not join the adventure? Hit that subscribe button right now, because trust me, the next secrets we're about to uncover will shock you even more. 4. Bigfoot and the Gigantopithecus connection. Deep in the forests of North America, people have reported a massive ape-like creature lurking in the shadows for centuries. Known as Bigfoot or Sasquatch, this legendary beast is described as a towering, hairy humanoid, evading capture but leaving behind giant footprints and blurry sightings. But what if Bigfoot isn't just a myth? Meet Gigantopithecus, a real prehistoric ape that stood over 10 feet tall and weighed up to 200 pounds. This colossal primate once roamed the forests of Asia hundreds of thousands of years ago. The shocking part: some scientists believe Gigantopithecus could be the real ancestor of Bigfoot, or that some of its kind may have survived into modern times. Here's where it gets even crazier. Indigenous cultures across the world have their own versions of Bigfoot-like creatures, from the Yeti in the Himalayas to the Orang Pendek in Indonesia. Could these legends be remnants of ancient encounters with a real, undiscovered primate species? The dense forests of North America and Asia still hold vast, unexplored regions. So the real question is Bigfoot still out there, waiting to be found? 5. The griffin. Dinosaurs misidentified? Imagine traveling through the vast, empty deserts of Central Asia when you stumble upon something astonishing, bones of a creature that looks like it was part lion and part eagle. Ancient traders and nomads crossing the Gobi Desert may have experienced this exact moment. They discovered fossilized skeletons with beaked skulls, sharp claws, and 4 powerful limbs. And with no knowledge of dinosaurs, they mistook them for the remains of a real-life griffin. Enter Protoceratops, a dinosaur that lived over 70 million years ago. This creature had a large bird-like beak and a quadrupedal stance, making it easy to see how early travelers could have mistaken it for the legendary half-lion, half-eagle hybrid. Since fossils of Protoceratops are common in the region where griffin myths originated, many experts believe this is where the legend began. But here's the real question. If ancient people mistook fossils for real creatures back then, could other mythical beasts have similar origins? And if we've been wrong before, what other myths might actually be true? 6. Werewolves and the curse of hypertrichosis. Picture this: a full moon rises, a chilling howl echoes through the night, and suddenly, a man transforms into a ferocious, bloodthirsty wolf. The legend of the werewolf has terrified people for centuries. But what if there's a real explanation behind this ancient myth? One possible answer: hypertrichosis, a rare genetic condition that causes excessive hair growth all over the body, including the face. In medieval times, individuals with this disorder were often seen as cursed or even possessed by dark forces. Some were forced into exile, while others were exploited in traveling freak shows. To superstitious villagers, the idea of a wolfman wasn't just a legend. It was a terrifying reality. But there's more. The symptoms of rabies, aggression, foaming at the mouth, and an aversion to water also match many descriptions of werewolf transformations. And in some historical cases, hallucinogenic plants or contaminated bread may have triggered mass hysteria, convincing entire communities that real werewolves were among them. So, were werewolves real? Not in the way Hollywood portrays them, but the fear, the sightings, and the legends, those were very real. 7. Mermaids and the deception of the sea. For centuries, sailors have told tales of mystical mermaids, half-human, half-fish creatures, said to lure men to their doom with enchanting songs. Even Christopher Columbus claimed to have seen them during his voyages. But were these encounters real, or was something else at play? The answer might be hiding in the ocean. Marine biologists believe many mermaid sightings were actually manatees or dugongs, marine mammals that from a distance oddly resemble a human form. Picture this. A weary sailor at sea for months catches a glimpse of a strange creature bobbing in the waves. In his exhausted, sun-drenched state, his mind fills in the rest, a womanly figure, flowing hair, an eerie gaze. But here's where it gets even creepier. Ancient myths from Greece, the Middle East, and even Japan describe mermaids not as beautiful, friendly beings, but as dangerous, supernatural predators. Some legends tell of sea demons that pulled sailors beneath the waves, never to be seen again. So, were mermaids real? Maybe not the way we imagine them, but with 80% of the ocean still unexplored. Who's to say something similar isn't lurking just beneath the surface? 8. The chupacabra, rabid beasts or something more. Imagine waking up to find your livestock drained of blood, strange puncture wounds on their bodies, and no clear explanation for what happened. This terrifying mystery has haunted farmers for decades, leading to the legend of the chupacabra, a bloodthirsty creature said to stalk the night and prey on animals. The first reports came from Puerto Rico in the 1990s, describing a strange reptilian beast with glowing red eyes. But as sightings spread across Latin America and the southern US, descriptions began to change. Some claimed the creature looked more like a hairless, diseased canine with sharp fangs and glowing eyes. So, what's really going on? Scientists believe many chupacabra sightings can be explained by coyotes, foxes, or wild dogs suffering from extreme mange, a disease that causes hair loss and gives them a ghoulish, almost alien appearance. But here's the catch. Mange doesn't explain the reports of completely bloodless corpses. Some researchers suggest unknown parasites, genetic mutations, or even government experiments could be behind the strange attacks. So, is the chupacabra just a misidentified wild animal, or is something far more sinister out there? 9. The Loch Ness Monster, a plesiosaur survivor? For nearly a century, people have reported sightings of a mysterious creature lurking in the dark waters of Loch Ness, Scotland. Described as having a long neck, massive body, and flipper-like limbs, the legendary Nessie has sparked countless searches, grainy photographs, and even sonar scans. But what if the Loch Ness Monster isn't just a myth? Some theories suggest Nessie could be a surviving plesiosaur, a prehistoric marine reptile believed to have gone extinct 66 million years ago. With its long neck and aquatic body, the plesiosaur bears an eerie resemblance to Nessie. And since Loch Ness was once connected to the ocean, could a small population have been trapped and survived in the depths? Skeptics argue that most sightings are hoaxes, misidentified logs, or swimming animals like eels or seals. But here's the twist. Sonar scans have occasionally picked up massive, unidentified objects moving in the loch, and some eyewitness reports remain unexplained to this day. So, could Nessie really exist? While no hard proof has been found, Loch Ness is over 750 feet deep, meaning if something is hiding down there, it's done a great job of staying hidden. 10. Vampires and the science of undead legends. We all know the legend. A pale figure lurks in the shadows, fangs glistening, ready to drain the life from unsuspecting victims. But what if vampires weren't just fictional monsters, but instead a terrifying misunderstanding of real-life events? One major clue: medical conditions. Take porphyria, a rare blood disorder that causes severe sensitivity to sunlight, receding gums, making teeth appear longer, and even a craving for raw blood. Sound familiar? Then there's rabies, which can trigger violent behavior, extreme sensitivity to light and water, and the urge to bite. But the vampire hysteria wasn't just about symptoms. It was fueled by fear of the undead. In the past, when villagers exhumed corpses to confirm whether someone had turned into a vampire, they sometimes found bodies that seemed to have grown longer nails and hair, with blood trickling from their mouths. Today, we know this is just natural decomposition. But back then, it was enough to send an entire village into a panic. And here's the creepiest part. Vampire myths exist in almost every culture. Could it all be coincidence? Or is there something we've been missing? If one mythical creature from this list turned out to be real, which one do you think it would be, and why? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching Earth and Beyond.